Grace's message today is going to be preceded and followed by songs by Solomon Burke. And Solomon Burke was an American musician who was considered a forefather of the soul music movement in the United States. So these are words, these are songs close to Grace's heart, and we'll just use them as a time of reflection both before and after her message. The songs are Time is a Thief and It's Been a Change.
I woke this morning and I looked at my life. It was filled with so much sorrow and grief. And in my troubled mind, I could see through all my sorrows that time is only a thief. Time is a thief that will rob you of your years, your youth, the only ransom you can pay. So treasure each moment. Don't let a single minute slip away. Life is for the living. No, I'm gonna try my best to live life every day. You see, time is a thief that will rob you of your years and never return on yesterday.
Is that in your way? This helps? I'm okay. Good.
Okay. Can you all hear me? Okay. So this morning, as you can see, I never thought I will set foot in another church. Because, as Laura said, churches can be somewhere warm and comforting and reassuring and accepting with a lot of hope and aspiration. It was not like that for me when I was growing up. I'll just tell you a little bit about my life. This stool is in the way. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about my life. I was born in Trinidad from a large family. I had 7 sisters, 5 brothers alive. And then there were a couple of little ones who died, and no one tends to talk about those little children, those little souls. So I'm from a very poor family, very abusive family, lack of education, and to me, when I was growing up, bear in mind, this is my story, nobody else's. When I was growing up, I felt as though I had more abuse than I had meals. I remember times when I went to bed hungry, but I had a generous helping of beating. When I was driving up here on the expressway, I could almost hear the crack of the sticks. My parents used to go out in the fields and get some sticks. I could almost feel the burning of the leather belt. And I could also hear they saying to me, Grace, you're going to be seen and not heard. So whilst all of this was going on, the adults, my parents, even in the church, the Sunday school teachers, you're going to get your beating. And not only that, when they see your parents, they're going to tell your parents, and you're going to get a double helping. So whilst all of that was going on, in my mind, I could tell you, I was always a stubborn child. They used to say I had my way, have my own way, but I call it being stubborn, and now I call it being determined. So whilst all of that was going on, I was saying to myself in my head, you could beat me as much as you like. You could say I'm stupid, I will amount to nothing, I will get nowhere, but within my mind, the little bit of your mind where nobody can get but God, I said, one of these days, I am going to live to go back to school after they dragged me out of school at age 9. And I never picked up my education until I was 22 years old. So just walk with me here a minute. A black girl, a black young lady, I could classify myself as being illiterate. And I left England, Trinidad, and I got on the ship and I went up to England. Now, I left Trinidad as a naive, young, innocent 21-year-old. And by the time I got to England, I was broken, damaged, battered, bruised woman. I was raped on the ship. And talking about rape, some people might find this word uncomfortable, but to me, unless we call whatever it is by its name, we'll never be able to address it. We cannot dress it up and say sexual abuse. No, it was not that. If you're sexual abuse, you will not get pregnant. So there was me in England, knowing no one, no money, no job. I did the best I could with this pregnancy. And I've got to say something here, Thomas. For Mother's Day, I listened to your sermon. My friend Arlene sent me the link. And I listened very, very carefully. And the way how you describe a mother, I'm 79 now. Next year I'll be 80. I have never heard anyone describe a mother as such. You incorporate the whole meaning of the mother. You even include the mothers who've had abortion. A lot of people would like to sidestep that, but it's reality. So there was me in England, all of this crisis, no one to turn to. But when I was growing up also, my parents said to me, stick to your own. And I used to think, what does that mean, stick to your own? So there was me in England. I desperately needed some help to deal with this unwanted pregnancy, and I still, in my mind, stick to my own. I didn't want to ask those people because those people were white, and they were not my own, but yet it was those people who had the power, the know-all, the experience to help me. So that's where racism, discrimination, bigotry, judgment, that's where it comes in, and that's where, for me, it could be quite dangerous. So, after a few months, I found alcohol. And I remember the first swig I had of alcohol. I remember that alcohol sort of like dancing its way down my body. It was like it got from my head to my big toe. And I thought, yes, this is what I've been looking for, even though I didn't know it. And that became my friend. In fact, alcohol and myself, we were quite good buddies. And then the same alcohol turned on me. Now, before I was drinking, when I wanted to drink, how much I wanted to drink. And then the table turned. Alcohol now was like a slave driver. I had to drink when I did not want to drink. I had to drink more than before. We immigrated, my late husband and my two sons, who are now in their 40s, we immigrated to Canada in 1988. And it was just literally a stone throw, and there was a wine shop. Well, no one could have doubted me or convinced me God didn't put that wine shop there for grace. Now, you know, sometimes, I don't know for you, but I call on God when I'm in a bind. And when I'm out of that bind, I seem to forget him. So that wine shop to me, it was like, that's for me. So my drinking picked up. And one morning, I went to work at Grand River Hospital. They said I smelled of alcohol, but I was drunk. I was suspended. I was sent home. The hospital followed up with a letter, so I couldn't say I didn't know. And then I ended up at Homewood Health Center. Now, all this time, I was thinking, stick to your own. I was thinking, that hospital suspended me because I'm black. This blackness, sometimes it helps us, but this time, it did not help me because my director of nursing said to me, Grace, no, it's not that. We have seen a change, a transformation in you, and that's one of the seasons. I changed from being a good employee, a reliant employee, and all of those things. But with this Mennonite community, I didn't realize I had a very strong connection with the Mennonite community. I mean, look at me. Do I look Mennonite? I don't think so. But when I was working at Grand River Hospital, I looked after quite a few young ladies from the Amish Mennonite community, and I hope this is the right word, with the one with the lovely black prayer cap, and then I looked after some with the white prayer cap. I went to a church in Hawksville. My late husband, when he was ill, he used to still go walking, and one day, one of the all other Mennonite family brought him home because he was too sick. Okay? And then, after that, years later, would you believe it, I met Arlene. And then 3 months later, I am here. So with alcohol, I ended up at Homewood Health Center. And it's a treatment center in Guelph. And whilst I was there, that same message, stick to your own. I mean, alcohol was near killing me, but still that negative message, stick to your own. When I was at Homewood, they said to me, Grace, this is not you. the alcohol has transformed you into something different, and it's not a nice thing. So that's where I started picking up my life. I remember having an assignment, and the counselor said to me, I want you to go home, look in the mirror, see what you see, make a note of it, and when you come back to work, to group, I want you to share it. I could not look at myself in the mirror. I felt as though something has stuck in my throat. I couldn't say in the mirror, Grace, I love you. You're a good young lady. I couldn't say that because no one has ever told me that when I was growing up. And that word, love, was foreign to me. So after Homewood, my husband was dying of bone cancer. And when he passed away, when he was passing, I said to him, his name was Ibrahima. I said, Isa, go over, step over, and I will look after the boys. To look after my children, I had to be sober. And to be sober, I had to go and learn what alcoholism is all about, because it tripped me up so much. The red wine got me drunk. The white wine got me drunk. Whiskey got me drunk. Gin got me drunk. And alcohol got me drunk. So I registered for courses in addiction at McMaster University. And there I met someone, his name is Rick Cernick, my professor, and now he wrote the epilogue for that little book, White Question, Black Answer. So when I met this person, I remember my first assignment, I was so illiterate. I didn't know the meaning of essay. And I had to write an essay. Now, tell me. So I wrote my piece and I sent it in. And then he gave me a C. I was mad at this man. So I phoned him. Pick up the phone 4 times. And then the last time, the phone rang. So I said, hello, Prof. Cernick. My name is Grace Ibrahima, and I just want to talk to you about that mark you gave me. And he listened, and he listened. He didn't change my mark, but he said something to me which was better than my mark. He said, Grace, you don't know these things because you didn't have the opportunity to learn it. You're quite a wise and intelligent young woman. And I thought, wise, intelligent, is he talking about me? And that was when my life started changing, transforming, going into a different season. So, fast forward, in 2020, at our Region of Waterloo Museum, Ken Sealing Museum, remember I said, stick to your own? And those people, I don't even know which people are those people, but I still call them those people. I got an email from the museum asking me if I could speak about my experience as a black woman, as an immigrant. And I thought, I wonder if they're making a mistake. Are they really supposed to send me this email? I mean, come on. Seriously? How would such a big institution make a mistake like that? So I spoke. Whilst I was there was a parent and a young child from Fergus. This child's name is Nicholas Bunch. I asked his permission. He says, yes, I could use his name. And he couldn't be much taller than that. So the mother bought one of my first books, Mercy, One Life, Many Stories. And I said, would you like me to sign it, and to whom? Yes, she says, to my son. So I signed the book. They went away, I went my way. I always thank people for supporting me, big ways, small ways, anyway, any chance I get. So I put a little notice on my Facebook page. And lo and behold, I got a message back from this mother, and she says, I want you to know, Nicholas read your book, took it camping, at the dinner table, had the book under his arm, came back to school, did his English assignment on the first part of the book, good, bad, raw, the whole lot in that book, and asked his teacher to invite me to his class to speak. So I did once, and then the second time, these children wouldn't leave me alone. They were in my head. And I thought, got on the phone again, my phone, and I called the teacher, and I told her what was happening. I said, okay, I want to put a challenge out for you and your 26 mostly Caucasian children, white children like you, and about blackness. I cannot tell you about other people's blackness, but I could tell you about my own. And this was on the phone, right? And I could almost, and she's Caucasian, I could almost see her doing like this. Are you sure? I said, I could never be more sure. She said, give me a few days, and I will ask the children. Well, it was a couple of hours. She called me back. She says, yes, they're ready. The first time, this was on Zoom, those children walk in the classroom, they were like, and maybe to see what this old black woman was going to get up to. I didn't get up to anything. So I said, good morning, class of Mrs. Kaya. And they said, good morning. And I thought, oh, heck, I'll have to do better than that. So I leaned into the computer screen and I said, you know, I was expecting something better than that. Shall we? And I paused on the we. And I repeated, we. Shall we try again? Yes, they said. That's what I was wanted, that connection. So the second time, they were ready for me. The streaming with the paper, with the question, Gracie, Gracie, and I don't know what the heck I was saying. Hello, hello, whatever it is. And then they started. Favorite color, my favorite food. Have I ever dyed my hair? Well, my hair was, what color is it now? Pink? It was green before. I lose color of my hair. It was green before. Do you have a husband? And I thought, I don't know if I like these children. And then they said, do you have children? Are they black or are they mixed? I thought, this is a church, so I shouldn't swear. And I thought, this is none of their business. This is what I was saying in my head. Have I ever lived in an all-white area? How was I treated? Have I ever been to the shop and the staff, you could see the unspoken language, the eye contact, keep an eye on her because those lot could steal. Have I ever applied for a job? I didn't get the job because someone else, Caucasian, got the job, less educated, less experienced than me. But this was a question I was not expecting. Has anyone called you the N-word? I said, you mean nigger? And they went, I said, that's the name. I said, and I'm glad you mentioned this. So why am I saying all of these things? I am not here to tell you about the racism and the discrimination and the bigotry through my story. I hope you could take it off and see where I'm coming from. When I had that abortion, I felt as though I was dragging such a heavy load. And I was driving down King Street, and a voice said to me, why don't you go to the synagogue and talk to the rabbi? I mean, I've never been to a synagogue. I thought a synagogue was a church. I thought a rabbi was a pastor. I thought the service, the Sabbath was a service. And I went there. And the rabbi gave me more than an hour of his time. And he said to me, Grace, go on, go home, do nothing before you write a letter to this child. And tell the child absolutely all the circumstances following this child conception. In my book, there, I bought 3 of each copy. My first book is called Mercy. That's the name of the child. Fast forward, today, this year, this month, this week, this day, this hour, what you've given me, I don't know the suitable word to say it. The first song, hymn, was Holy, Holy, Holy. And I remember in the morning, I was beaten out of my bed to get up 5 o'clock to do a service, and then a home service, and then there were about 2 or 3 during the day. And Holy, Holy, Holy was the first song we always sang. So when I saw Holy, 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 I thought, okay, God, Jesus, the universe, Allah, Buddha, the Creator, I cannot take much more than this goodness. I've never had this goodness in my life before. So I want to thank you this morning from the bottom of my heart. Sometimes making choices, making decisions, standing up for people, especially people who are not as privileged as us, might be difficult, but it's the right thing to do. So, in closing, I believe in my life, I've been through spring, summer, autumn, winter, and that again. And at this stage of my life, I feel as though I am in the winter of my life, age-wise. But my faith, my spirituality is almost like being in the spring of my life. So, as I said, I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I want to tell you how this started. Arlene, come up here. No, Arlene, you got to come. Okay, come here. Okay.
This isn't going to be a good story.
Okay. So, just in closing, I know we struck for time, but you got to hear this. Do you want to hear how I met Arlene? Okay, you got to be louder. Yes, because after this, I might be having one less friend. So, sometime in January, I lent my son my car for 3 years. It was supposed to be 1 year, 3 years, so I didn't go to the rec complex. So I got my car back, and I thought, I'm going to go to the rec complex, and I am going to do my aquafit. So I went there, and I did my aquafit, and then I had my shower, and I think she had a shower as well. And then, we were sitting on the bench. The bench was like here, okay? So I was drying off, and Ali was drying off. And I turned around and I said, hello. And she says, hello. And the two of us, we were like jaybirds. We didn't have a stitch on. And we started talking as you wouldn't just believe it, as though we were long lost friends. So then I found something. I found Arlene was a nurse. I was a nurse. Arlene worked at Grand River Hospital. So was I. Arlene liked, my body here liked reading. What else did you like? Aquafit? Yeah. And I said to her, oh, what type of book do you like to read? She says, any. I said, would you read my book? She says, yeah. Did you get it from the library? I said, no. I wrote it. And she says, what is it all about? So I told her, oh my God, leave me alone now. You know? And she said, yeah. And from that point on, this is how I came to be here. She says, Grace, you got to talk to my pastor and all of those things. So now you know all about us.
holding back. You know it's a shame the way some people act. You see, the president said that we will overcome, but we got to keep pushing on until the work is done. It's been a change. It's been a change. It's been a change. This whole world has made a change. There's one thing that I want you to know. Things have been, I won't be no more. Maybe later, and maybe soon. One of these days, there'll be a man on the moon. I tell you, it's been a change. It's been a change. It's been a change. This whole world has made a change. You young people, stay in school, study real hard, and obey the rules. You may be young, and you may be able, without an education, you can't get common labor. Oh, it's been a change. I say it's been a change. It's been a change. This whole world has been a change. Said it's made a change right now.